Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another video for you guys, and it's gonna be a short and sweet video because I have a flight at 5 in the morning and it is currently, okay, I'll see that, 11 o'clock, and this has to be filmed and edited by tonight so that I can have it scheduled for tomorrow. Yeah, it's a lot. This actually wasn't the video I was planning on posting today because I was going to be posting my end of the year wrap up tomorrow or the day that you guys see this, but I got sick and literally could not talk. So the plans have changed. So we're posting this today. That'll be posted next week. And in turn, my January wrap-up will be combined with my February wrap-up. So you won't really see the books that I read in January until February. So, disclaimers there. Today's video, however, let's get to the meat of the video. Today's video is going to be me basically telling you guys, did I complete the 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024? Did I? And also the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Plus a few extras because I couldn't choose 25. I had to choose more. So yeah, I will not be showing you physically the books that I read in 2024 because they're all over my floor because I plan to film my end of the year wrap up. So I won't be showing you, but I will be telling you guys, and then I will show you guys the books I want to read this year. Okay, let's get started. So, the 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024. First was ASAP by Axio. I read this book, loved this book. Second was This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, also another book that I really loved. Third was Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. I did in fact read that. It was really at the end of the year. It was like in November. I read it really late in the year, but I thoroughly enjoyed that, which I'm not surprised. It's Adam Silvera. Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I did read that. We know how I feel about that book. We know. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I did read that book, and it was indeed a 5-star. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Hallie Jackson. I did read that. 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I did read this book. I read it literally at the very end of December. I cut it super close, but I did get it finished. Daydream by Hannah Grace. Read that, annotated that, loved that. Beach Read by Emily Henry, as well as Happy Place by Emily Henry. Read both of those. Really enjoyed both of those. One was a 5-star. Then I think Beach Read was a 4.5, something like that. Carrie Soda's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely adored. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I did read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I read it on my mom's birthday. Fun fact. Really like that. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. We have our first fail of 2024. I actually finished that book yesterday on January 12th. So, no, I did not finish that in 2024. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I did in fact finish that. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I did read. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I did read. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I did read. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I did read. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Did read. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. She's not read. She's not. I did start it. I'm not halfway. I'm like 25% of the way through, but I started reading this when I got sick. So to be fair, cut me some slack. I didn't get it finished though. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I did read that. In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I did read. Business Casual by B.K. Borison. I did read. And then also The Girl with All the Gifts by Emma Carey. I did read. So to wrap that all up, I read 22 out of 24 of the books I wanted to read in 2024. So honestly, I'm going to give it to myself. And the 2 that I didn't finish, I started in 2024. So we got to give me some points for that, at least. Okay, at least. now we're gonna go on to the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. And I will tell you, I think 3 of them I don't own. Either 3 or 4 of them I don't own because they are new releases, books that are going to be coming out within like throughout the year. So I don't own them right now, but I am for sure going to read these books when they do come out. But I will insert those whenever they pop up. The first book that I want to read, not necessarily the first book that I want to read, but this is the first book that I thought of when I was like, what books do I want to read in 2024? This was the first book that came to my mind, and that is The Winners by Frederick Bachman. I want to read this book so bad. It is the last book of the Beartown trilogy. So I definitely want to read this. I want to finish the trilogy, but also I don't at the same time. So this will probably get read like towards the end of the year because I'm gonna put it off as long as I possibly can. So yeah, I'm gonna finish the series this year. This is a brick of a book, which is insane. Why? I don't know. But I'm really excited. I'm really sad, but I'm excited, and I don't know if I can handle this many pages of Frederick Bachman's writing and his emotional torture that he does to me, but we'll see when I get to it. Then we have 3 books that I don't own because they aren't out yet, and it is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. So that is the 3rd book in the Empyrean 4th Wing series. That is coming out January 21st. Best believe I'm not going to work that day. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to read this book, and I'm going to be the happiest girl in the world. I will tell you that much. So when that comes out, that will be getting read. They Both Die at the End, the 3rd book by Adam Silvera. He hasn't announced the name of the book yet. Apparently that's being announced on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. And also, I don't know when the release date is coming out, but he's saying a lot of things are being told to us about this book within this week. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we get a release date and then I know when I can read this book, but I am being as patient as I possibly can. And then we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, which is her new book that's coming out, and I'm so excited. It's going to be a series, and y'all know how I feel about the Love Light series by B.K. Borison. So I am so excited, so ready to read these books by her. Yes, and that comes out in February. It's like early February. I know it's before Valentine's Day. That's what I do know. So yes. And then the next book I have is And They Lived by Stephen Salvatore. I am really wanting to read this book. I have started this book twice and got into chapter 2 twice and then just haven't finished it. And it's not that the book is bad. I think I'm just not in the mood for it. But I've had this book for entirely too long. I've had this book for like 3 years at this point. It needs to get read. It needs to get read. So if I don't read it this year, the book's getting unhauled. And that's honestly with a lot of books that are on this list because I've had them for so long. So if I don't read them this year, they're getting the boot. I'm sorry. I'm sure they're great books, but if I don't read them this year and I've had them for this long, something's up and they don't need to be on my shelf anymore. So this is its last chance. Yeah, we will see. We then have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Y'all know last year I read the entire Mistborn. Well, I've read the original trilogy of the Mistborn series. I read the first era of Mistborn and I loved it. So I want to get into more of his fantasy, more of his books in general. And this is said to be like a more cozy fantasy. He wrote this for his wife. That is all you need to say. Also, the cover is beautiful. It's my favorite color, and I don't know, for some reason I've really been wanting to read this specific book by Brandon Sanderson. So I'm very excited to read this. Oh my gosh, I really just want to read it now, but no, I have a TBR and I'm gonna stick to it. Next book we have is Cujo by Stephen King. I always try to read at least one Stephen King book throughout the year. I read 3 last year, yeah, but I want to read at least one, and Cujo has been the book that I've been wanting to read the most out of Stephen King's books, so this will be getting read at some point this year. That is a promise. Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I read the ending. Well, I read the entire book of Binding 13, and that ending really just like broke my heart. So I needed a minute before I could like read the rest of it, and I think that was in June or July or August, one of those months that I read that book. And I think I've had enough of a break from that universe, and I think I'm ready to dive back into it. I think I'm ready to continue. So I am planning to read Keeping 13 sometime this year. It's not that I'm scared, but I am. I know the book is going to be amazing. I'm just really scared about how the book is going to make me feel. That is what I'm a little scared of. But we will see. The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is kind of in the same boat as And They Lived. Not necessarily that I'm going to get rid of it, because I do have the entire series. But like this needs to get read, because why haven't I? So, yes. I don't know. I know why I'm not reading this book. It's because he is in love with his best friend's girlfriend, and that is just, it's gonna annoy me. It's gonna stress me out, and I'm just like, it's gonna stress me out because like, bro, she's already with someone. You like let her go. But yeah, so I've been putting it off because I know this book is going to annoy me at the very beginning when he's groveling over his best friend's girl. It's gonna stress me out and it's gonna annoy me, and I'm gonna be so mad. But I think I just need to get over it. You know, I think I need to get over it and just read the book. So yeah. This Time It's Real by Anne Leong. I own all but one of her books, and I have not read any of them. So I need to read at least one, and this is the first one I got, so this is the first one we're gonna read. And I've heard so many people talk about this book recently, so I'm very excited to read it. So this will be getting read. At least one Anne Leong. If it's not this one, it's gonna be another one. At least one Anne Leong book is going to get read this year. Mark my words. Actually don't do that. Next, Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. This book is definitely in the same boat as And They Lived. I've had this book since beginning of 2023. I literally got this book in January of 2020. No, that's not even true. I got this book in December of 2022 and have not read it. I need to read it. I need to read it. So if I don't read this year, it's getting unhauled. End of discussion. There's no negotiating. It's getting unhauled if I don't read it this year. So I really hope I read it. I really hope that I read it this year, and I really hope that I like it. But we won't know unless I read the dang book. So, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I've had this for a long time, which is part of the reason why it's on here, but I also just really want to read this. So that's another reason why this is on here. I just really want to read this. I think it's a cool concept, and I just want to read it. So that's why it's on here. Yeah. Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. As you know, I love me some Taylor. I do. I love her. And I read all of her like historical fiction, so I'm ready to get into her romance. I'm ready, and this is the first one that I got, and I remember reading like the synopsis and being like, yes, and then never picking it up to read it. So I'm going to read it. This is the first one that caught my eye out of her romance books, so this is going to be the first one that I read out of her romance books, and I just know I'm gonna love it. I love her writing, the way she writes characters, the way she writes just everything, just the way she writes, I love. So I know I'm gonna eat this book up. I just know it. Next, From Look Up With Love by Mariana Zapata. She has yet to let me down with a book. All of her books have been 5 stars. Now all of them have been different types of 5-star, but all of them have been a 5-star. So I have no doubt that this is going to be a 5-star. And I like Stephen King. She's one of my favorite authors. So I try to read at least one of her books a year. So I'm running out of physical books, but all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, besides All Roads Lead Here, which is insane to me. But we're not going to talk about that. So I try to read at least one of her books every year, and this is the book I chose for this year. So I'm excited. The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. This is really cute. It's about, she's like a bookworm. Like, she loves to read, and then he's an author. And it's Black love. Like, it's just calling my name. And I heard Haley talk about this, and she really liked it. So I'm just really excited to read this book. And also, I've been trying to read more like diverse authors. You guys probably wouldn't know from the authors I literally just said. I am. Okay? And this is a part of that. Out There Screaming by Jordan Peele. This is not by Jordan Peele, but it's an anthology that is edited by him. And my thing is, if he has gotten a bunch of people to write horror like short stories and he approved of them, they have to be good. They have to be. He's a freaking genius. Like, they have to be good if he is like putting his name on it. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited to read this. And we have The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I've been wanting to read a Toni Morrison book for so long, and this is the one that has been like catching my attention and like drawing me in the most out of all of her books. I have 3 of them. My grandmother got me them for Christmas. Thank you, Grandma. But this is the one that is like calling my name the most. Then we have Ace of Spades. I'm not gonna try and pronounce the name. I really don't want to butcher it. I would feel bad. But Farija, I just said I wasn't gonna try and pronounce it, and then I did exactly that. Ace of Spades. The concept is crazy, first of all, and I think it's gonna be so good. Also, anything that like takes place in a school or like an academic setting, I don't know what it does to me, but I do just love it. I do. So I'm very excited. I need to find other words to describe my feelings besides I'm very excited, but I'm probably not going to. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have had this book for too long, and I've read the first chapter of this book and was like, oh my gosh, this is good, and then put it down. I don't know what is up with me and reading first chapters of books and then putting them down. Like, girl, what just don't even pick up the book at that point. Like, just don't do it. But I've had this for so long, and I've heard so many people say so many good things about this book and this author. So I'm just like, I need to read it. I have FOMO, and I need to like not have it. So we're gonna read this year, and if not, unfortunately this is getting on hold, because if I'm not gonna read it in 3 years, do I need to own the book? You know? 2025 is a year of getting rid of books that I'm not gonna read, okay? I'm being better. I'm getting better, guys. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller is in the same boat as The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have not read any part of this book, but I've had this book for so long and have not read it. I planned to read it last year, and then that fell through. It didn't happen, but maybe it will happen this year. Maybe. She only has 2 books, so maybe I'll read this book and Circe like not at the same time, but like one right after the other, you know? A Madeline Miller taste test, if you will, because I just need to get this book and Circe off of my shelves, because it's either I need to read them and love them, or I need to read them and get them off my shelves, or I just need to get them off my shelves. One of the 3 has to happen, and I'd much rather read them before deciding what I'm gonna do with them. So, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I have read Part of Your World. I read that last year and really liked it. I think I gave it a 4.25, 4.5, something like that. And I'm really excited for this one, because I think I will like this one more than I like Part of Your World, just because there's, from what I've heard, a really good rep for social anxiety in this book, and I do struggle with that, and I love to see people who are like me in books. So I'm very excited. Also, there's a dog on the cover, so you really can't go wrong. right? Yeah, you can. So, very excited. Very, yeah, excited. Next, we have Next of Kin by Hannah Bodum Young. I read Out on a Limb. We all know how I feel about that book. This is like a part of her Next series, I think is what it's called. So it's like Next of Kin and then Next to You. And I think that's it. I think. And I've just been craving some more of her. So, some more of her writing. So, I got me some, okay? And I'm gonna read this probably in February, a year from when I read Out on a Limb. Actually, probably not. I read that on Valentine's Day, and I have an idea of a book that I want to read on Valentine's Day. So, it'll be around the same time. I'm just really excited. I just want to read more of her writing. It was so easy. It was so fun and cute, and I just want more. 1984 by George Orwell. One thing about me, I try to read at least one like classic a year, whether it's like a modern classic or a classic. I try to read at least one a year. Last year was The Handmaid's Tale. This year is gonna be 1984 because one, I really want to read this, and two, this was the first book I bought in Texas, and that was in June of 2022. So, she needs to be read. Yeah. Because there's no reason why I have read so many other books and not this one. So, she's gonna get read at some point. And we're gonna love her. We are. Next book I don't own, and that is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. This book comes out, I'm pretty sure it's like later in the year. I think it's like June, I think he said. Either May or June. Actually, I can tell you. May 20th, 2025 is when this comes out. Y'all, I'm so ready. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's on there. And then also the last of my like set 2025 books of 2025 is The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. This was in fact on my December TBR, and I in fact did not read it. So we're rolling it over and we're putting it on my 25 books to read in 2025 because one, I'm out of Casey McQuiston books to read. I have this book to read, and then I Kiss Shara Wheeler, which I don't know if I'm necessarily too interested in, but I'm going to try it. Just don't know when. But this is the one I'm like real interested in. So, yes. So that is the last of like the 25 books that I want to read in 2025, but we have 5 honorable mentions, and like these books are like either part of series, books that I just really want to read but like aren't as high as other books, and then also books that I may or may not have started and just never finished. So we'll get on to those. First book, Infinity Reaper by Adam Silvera. Like all my other favorite authors, I try to read at least one book from my favorite authors a year. Funny how Christina Lauren is not on this list. They need to be on this list. I will read a Christina and Lauren book this year. If anyone thought I wasn't going to, now you know. Calm down, I am. But Adam Silvera, I read Infinity Sun last year and absolutely loved it. So I really want to finish the series. But this is not like so high up on my list because I do have They Both Die at the End #3 on my list. And I definitely want to read that more than I want to read this. But honestly, I want to read every one of Adam Silvera's books, so yeah. Next, we have Snow Globe by Sunyoung Park. Y'all see how there's a bookmark in here? Yeah, because I started this. And like, when was that? I don't remember when it was, but I started this quite a while ago. This is such a cute book. Not cute, like the contents of the book is not necessarily cute, but like this is cute, and the bookmark in here is cute. I should read this. I should. But like I got all the way, I don't know what chapter this is, but I got to page 105. I got to page freaking 105 out of 372. Ooh, focus. Thank you. Out of 372. I don't even have words, because why would I do that? Just read the book. Just read the book. But I'm definitely going to be starting over with this book. I'm not going to start from page 100 because I do remember what was happening, but I would like to reacquaint myself with what was happening. So I'm going to restart this book and I'm going to finish it, okay? I'm going to start the book and finish it this time, guys. I promise. Yes. Yeah, I promise. You can mark my words on that one. You can. Next honorable mention is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This and Funny Story are the only Emily Henry books that I haven't read, and this is the only one that I own, the ones that I own that I haven't read. So I'm very, very excited to read this book. This one, I feel like a lot of people don't like this one, but I feel like I might like this one because I feel like a lot of people like book lovers, and I did not like that at all, really. So I'm very excited to read this, and I think I will like it. This is so much. Why is this long? Oh, maybe it's not that long. It's 361 pages. Is this something wrong with me, or doesn't this look like a long book? Like, she's thick a little bit. I don't know, but I want to read it. We were talking about thick books, right? The Wheel of the Meee by, James Islington. I'm definitely getting more into fantasy. I read Fourth Wing and it went downhill. I became a fantasy girly, I will not lie. And I have so many fantasy books now, and this is very much fantasy. People compare it to like Mistborn, and we talked about that, guys. I do love Mistborn. So I'm very excited to read this. I'm very nervous because it's really long. But this is an honorable mention. So like, if I don't get this read, it's okay. You can't hold it against me. You can't, because I said maybe. But I would really like to read it this year. We'll see. We'll see. No promises. And the last book of this video, the last book that I would really like to read in 2025 is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I haven't read this book, and I haven't read The Maidens by him. And I really want to read The Maidens, but this one is kind of higher up on my TBR. Why? I don't know. It just is. It just is. I think the cover intrigues me more because, like, what is that? What is that? And that's why I want to read it, because what does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but I want to find out. So I really want to read this, and I really love The Silent Patient, and I really love his writing, so I'm very excited to read this book. So there you go, guys. The passes and fails of 2024. I passed more than I failed, okay? Like, I got, what would that be? What would that be? One moment, so let me do math. An 88. That's a passing grade, okay? My 2024 grade was an 88. I'll take it. Actually, wait, I did that wrong. Wait. Actually, guys, I got a 92. I got a 92, and that is a passing grade, and I will take it, okay? But this year, we're gonna have a 100. We're gonna have 100. I'm going to read all 25 books. The first 25, I'm gonna read those. Those last 5, I might read like 2 of them. Maybe. But I did read 78 books last year. So I could read all 30 of those books. I can. But I am a mood reader, so am I going to? Who knows? But that is the end of this video. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know and tell me how you guys feel about them. Don't spoil it for me because I will cry, but do tell me if you like them or didn't like them, if you think they're worth it or not. And yeah, that is the end of this video. If you are new here, hello. Hi. I hope to see you more often. But other than that, that is the last of this video, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.